I seen something Tony Yayo said, Hov don't look out for me like 50 look out for him.
Oh, word? He said that?
I just want to clear that up. Hov don't have to.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right. Okay.
I'm chewing aloud on my own.
Right.
If Hov look out, I'm telling you, I'll be up there. Right. So when y'all see me out here, that's the Blizzle budget. But back to you, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I just want to let niggas know Hov don't have to.
So with everything you
Maserati, Fox, real nigga, huh?
With everything that you saw, what would you change?
I just pray to God every time I leave the house.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to him out. And Hervé says loud, you don't gotta worry about nothing. You got 50. Jay-Z doesn't do nothing for these guys like 50 does.
When Jim Jones went off during Memphis Bleek's podcast, that wasn't just another rap clip for the timeline. It was a full-blown detonation years in the making. The frustration didn't come out of nowhere. It was locked in on Tony Yayo, and the vibe got so tense even Bleek looked stunned on his own platform. What made it wilder is Bleek and Yayo aren't even close like that. So why did Jim flip the switch that fast? This whole situation circles back to loyalty, ego, and certain words that cut deep. Respect means everything in this game. Memphis Bleek's position is easy to understand. He's been riding with Jay-Z since the early Rockefeller days, like a little brother under that Empire umbrella. That connection runs deep and it's solid. But Tony Yayo has been tossing subtle shots at that camp for years, keeping old tension alive with slick commentary. Things really heated up when Yayo claimed Jay tried to stop 50 Cent from landing the Super Bowl halftime show, a statement that still doesn't sit right with 50's circle. That's not light talk, that's heavyweight energy.
Like I just said, we just came back off tour.
Yeah.
You know, with Fifth, and we still touring. Still. And I do my own tours too for people. Oh, yo.
You see,
I do my own tours. I did tours in Canada. I did a tour across the whole Germany and the Swiss Alps. And that's why I don't care about the hate. Cause I'm like, I got the possibility to do my own tour. Like something with Memphis Bleek. Memphis Bleek said to Nori, Yayo said Jay-Z didn't have us on tour like he did, or I eat my own halal. I eat my own halal too. If you want to say that, to Memphis Bleek, I just came off my last tour. All I'm saying is when you see Jay-Z in a setting, he never really, when he's doing a Beyonce show or whatever, you don't see Memphis Bleek on the stage and him being brought out. You know, even if I'm doing the hype man shit with 50, he's bringing me out. I'm making money. I'm going to—
That's that man girl too. That's it. That's Hov's wife tour.
Yeah, that's Hov wife tour.
So I believe if Hov was out on his own, he would bring Bleek out. There is no need for him to bring Bleek in a situation where it looked like if this was last tour you're talking about with the Cowboy Carter.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, because I look at Bleek as a loyal guy, like I'm a loyal guy to Jay. But I look at like Fifth, my guy Hervé, one day we had TRL, and it's the Young Gunners there.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to him out, and Hervé says loud, you don't gotta worry about nothing. You got 50. Jay-Z doesn't do nothing for these guys like 50 does. And Hervé, I think he worked with them too. But he said that to me, and that always stuck in my head. Rest in peace to him.
Then Yayo stepped onto Shannon Sharpe's show, ready to spark something. He didn't just call Jay-Z a hater, he doubled down and said Jay never helps people win, never lifts anybody up. After that, he pointed straight at Bleek's career and said, look at Memphis Bleek. He not shining, he not winning. Jay don't take care of him, like 50 takes care of us. That line right there, that's what shook the room. That line right there, boom, it shook the whole culture. That wasn't just a casual jab. It was layered disrespect mixed with comparison, and it hit a sensitive spot. Memphis Bleek has stayed loyal for decades, never switched sides, never folded under pressure, always riding for Jay. Now he's got to hear people clowning him like he wasn't taken care of. That's personal, and it didn't just land on Bleek. It echoed through everybody connected to Jay's circle. That's when Jim Jones stepped up and said, nah, not today. Jim wasn't letting that slide, not on no grown man level. He called out the whole idea of arguing over which boss takes better care of their crew. He said that mindset is corny. Straight up, loyalty isn't something you measure by handouts. He broke it down simple. You can't feed your family off another man's plate. And that message hit hard, because once that plate disappears, what happens next? That support talk sounds cool until it's gone. All that debate about who gives more money or who puts who on, that's weak energy. Jim made it clear that real men stand on their own 2 feet. If your homie helps you, that's love, no doubt. But turning that into a public scoreboard, that's not strength, that's insecurity. When Yayo brought it up, it didn't sound like sharp analysis. It felt like he needed validation. He tried to frame Jay-Z as selfish, but the way it came out made it look like a contest. Like who's getting spoiled more. That's a strange flex for grown men, especially when you're talking about 2 moguls who move in completely different ways when it comes to uplifting their teams. So when Bleek showed up on Drink Champs, he wasn't about to stay silent. He had to clear the air. According to him, it was never serious beef with Yayo before. They've seen each other, even talked a few times, nothing crazy. But after that comment, the vibe shifted. It wasn't an all-out war yet, but the temperature definitely changed. You could hear it in Bleek's tone.
This the difference between me and other niggas, right? Stack Bundles, one of my favorite rappers in the world.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Right?
Squad. Rest in peace.
Far Rock,
Yep.
you understand? Jim Jones, he had Stack Bundles, he had Max B. I looked at it like, great. You know, Stack Bundles, we had a Porsche and was still in the hood. No disrespect to Jim Jones. Fifth had me in Battery Park. I could walk out that barefoot.
Get the
See,
socks.
that's when a nigga love you, nigga. You get the socks, nigga. Sneakers Dior, nigga. But I'm walking out there barefoot. That's when you know a nigga love you, boy. Cause he making sure you don't get your shit split. Cause you go back to 134, anywhere, Baisley, right, Brooklyn, pew, shit get split. Once I got shit, nigga shot my shit up. Bentleys and all that. Y'all get that sneaker, just toss that over there. My shit's official. You know what I'm saying? Yo, look, but nigga put me in position. Rest in peace of Stack, but Stack got killed in the project with a Porsche.
Yeah.
Nigga, come on, nigga, I'm from the hood, nigga. Y'all niggas thought, nigga. I done been around the Black Justice and seen the Preems and all that, nigga. The E-Money bags, all that, nigga. The younger niggas under that.
So with everything you
Maserati Fox. Real nigga, huh?
So with everything that you saw, what would you change?
I just pray to God every time I leave the house.
But what would you change?
Change what?
Pass the cup.
I heard you talk about all the shit you went through, all the shit niggas is still going through.
What
Yeah,
God,
you need one of them cups
listen,
just for
what
the
God
asshole.
got planned for you is planned for you, brother. God already know what's planned for you in life.
God planned for you to come here and spaz on y'all niggas tonight.
I spaz?
I'm just saying, it was a plan.
I mean, I do be on some Hollywood shit in Europe. I gotta stop.
Yeah.
Something like, yo, stop talking about Europe. I don't, like, when you come here, you gotta deal
Don't
with
treat
niggas.
Vlad like that, bro. See how niggas is? See how
No, I
niggas
had
is,
nothing
bro?
with Vlad.
He ain't treat Vlad
do
like
with Europe.
this. He
I
ain't
do
treat
with
Vlad
things,
like
you have to
this,
do with
my
Europe.
nigga.
When you go to
This wasn't about money or chasing clout. It was about respect. He's loyal to Jay, that's solid, but he's not letting anybody throw dirt on his name for sport. He basically said it without saying it. Forget Tony Yayo, simple as that. Now here's where it gets interesting. Yayo has always been the type to call people out if he feels they're not holding down their crew. That same energy is what dragged Jim Jones right into the spotlight. If you remember the early 2000s, the G-Unit versus Dipset tension was serious. 50 Cent and Cameron were trading shots. Jim was in the middle of it, and the culture was on fire. A lot of fans thought that chapter closed years ago. Not quite. Jim and Yayo have been tossing quiet jabs behind the scenes for a while, and now it's bubbling up again. But this time, it's not about records or charts. It's about legacy, loyalty, and street principles. Yayo pushed it even further when he sat down on My Expert Opinion and dropped a heavy accusation. He claimed Jim left Stack Bundles in the hood, and once that name got brought up, everything escalated. Left him there to die. That's what Yayo said. Those are heavy words. That's not light talk, that's confrontation talk. If you don't know who Stack Bundles was, understand this clearly. He wasn't just another artist trying to get on. He was one of Jim's closest people from early on. Jim signed him, brought him on tour, gave him real opportunities. Stack was lined up to be next. The buzz was building. Then tragedy struck, and he lost his life in the same neighborhood he grew up in. That loss still echoes through the culture. From the outside, it's easy for people to say Jim didn't do enough. But anybody who's tried to pull someone away from street life knows it's complicated. You can give someone a plan, connect them to resources, put money in their pocket, show them a new lane, and they still might not leave what they know. Jim has always said he tried. He gave Stack chances, support, real love, but Stack stayed close to the block that shaped him. That's not a simple story. Then came the whispers. People claiming Jim took Stack's whole wave, his style, his sound. Jim shut that down every time. He said it wasn't theft. It was carrying his brother's energy forward out of respect, and you could see the hurt whenever he spoke on it. So when Yayo dragged Stack's name into this, that crossed the line. That wasn't rap debate anymore. That was personal business. By the time Jim sat down with Bleek, the tension was already loaded. The second Yayo's name came up, Jim's whole demeanor shifted. No pause, no smoothing it over. Memphis Bleek tried to keep things calm, but Jim was locked in and ready to respond. He was locked in and ready to unload. You could hear it in his voice. That wasn't random energy. That was something he'd been holding in for a minute. Jim started off smooth, saying his team is solid, his family is good, and all that talk about who feeds who. Pure nonsense. We don't need nobody to feed us. We feed ourselves. That Harlem confidence was loud and clear in every word. Then Jim turned it up, and the shots weren't soft. He went straight at Yayo's pride. He cracked jokes about his money, his appearance, even his hygiene. Said he got enough lotion for every bump on his face. It sounded funny on the surface, comedy mixed with sharp edge, and even Bleek couldn't hide a little smirk. But Jim wasn't playing around. Beneath the jokes, there was real frustration. For Jim, this wasn't about punchlines. It was about self-respect. He wanted it known that he built his situation from the ground up. No handouts, no charity, no big homie writing checks behind the scenes. That's why it hit different when Yayo hinted he was surviving off somebody else's name. That narrative didn't sit right. And let's be honest, Yayo's original angle wasn't even saying Jim was broke. It was about the people around him. He questioned whether Jim's circle was really winning together like he claims, but Jim didn't even address that part directly. Pride jumped in the driver's seat. If he had slowed it down and tackled that claim calmly, the whole energy might have shifted. Maybe that conversation could have gone somewhere deeper. It could have turned into real dialogue about how fame twists loyalty and how the industry blurs the lines between support and independence. But once that switch flipped, Jim wasn't in the mood for logic. He felt disrespected, and when that button gets pushed, the Harlem in him shows up fast. His voice climbed higher, his body got tense. This didn't feel performative, it felt personal. Years of frustration bubbling up live on camera. Jim said it clear, he doesn't answer to Jay-Z, 50 Cent, or anybody else. He built his brand, brick by brick. That was the tone, straight defiance. He wanted it understood that he's not standing under anyone's umbrella. Then the energy shifted from debate to pressure. Jim started aiming directly at Yayo's connection to 50. He said Yayo's been riding behind 50 since day one, hiding behind that bus, playing passenger his whole career. You've been the passenger your whole career, Jim snapped. While I've been out here driving my own lane. That line cut deep. Everybody knows 50 is seen as the general, so being labeled his shadow, that's like saying you never stood on your own 2 feet. The room got heavy after that. You could almost feel the temperature change. Even Bleek looked uncomfortable. It wasn't friendly back and forth anymore. It was real smoke. Jim moved past defending himself. Now he was questioning Yayo's independence, trying to make it clear he believes Yayo never earned his stripes without 50 standing next to him. That's when it became clear this wasn't just about a few spicy comments. This was old school ego, pride, and scars from beef that never fully healed. Jim and Yayo have been orbiting each other's names for years. Back in the early 2000s, when Dipset and G-Unit were dominating the mixtape era, there was real tension behind those bars. Those weren't playful lyrics. Those were coded messages from real-life situations. So when Jim tapped back into that energy, it felt like reopening a wound people thought had already closed. Now Yayo didn't jump online screaming or crashing out. He moved calculated, quiet, but loud at the same time. Instead of dropping a diss record, he posted a photo of Max B. And if you know the history between Max B and Jim Jones, you already understand how loaded that move was. That wasn't random. That was strategic. Chess, not checkers. That one post spoke volumes. It was Yayo's subtle way of saying, you're not untouchable. And the internet reacted instantly. Comment sections lit up. Old fans started picking sides again like it was 2005. Team Jim, Team Yayo. The energy felt nostalgic but dangerous at the same time. Jim didn't retreat either. He leaned deeper into his stance. He repeated that he's never been anyone's sidekick, never depended on a cosign, never survived off another man's plate. In his eyes, he carved his own lane and stood tall in it. And now he was defending that legacy with full force. Jim said he stands on business every single day and nobody can question that. To him, that Max B repost wasn't just petty, it was next level disrespect. That's like pulling a ghost out the past just to trigger emotion. And that move, that's what made everything blow up. The fans lost it. Some people said Jim had every right to clap back. Others claimed Yayo only said what some folks were already thinking. You know how the internet moves. Clips everywhere, memes flying. Everybody got an opinion. It outgrew Bleek's podcast fast. This turned into full culture conversation. And the wild part, Memphis Bleek was just trying to host a smooth interview. Now he's stuck between two veterans bringing back early 2000s energy. That's not light tension, that's history resurfacing. Jim tried to dial it down for a second. He shifted into flex mode, started showing off the lifestyle, cars, jewelry, talking about everything being self-made. He and Bleek even dipped into Rockefeller memories, the grind, the hunger, the doors that opened and the ones that didn't. For a moment, it felt like things might cool off. But pride kept pulling him back in. Every time it seemed like he was done, he found another angle to shoot at Yayo from. The conversation kept looping back. And while Bleek nodded and kept it professional, you could tell he didn't expect his platform to turn into a G-Unit versus Dipset flashback. That's what makes this culture unpredictable. Old smoke never really disappears. It just waits for the right spark. One podcast, one sharp comment, and suddenly the whole hip-hop world is arguing about loyalty, money, and respect all over again. Jim's tone by the end was crystal clear. No apologies, no stepping back. We not waiting for nobody to take care of us. We take care of ourselves. That wasn't just a response, that was a declaration. When Jim Jones said that, you could tell he felt it deep. That wasn't performance energy for cameras. That was personal. He's Harlem to the core, and when somebody questions his grind, he's going to answer with intensity. That fire wasn't for show, it was pride speaking loud. For a second, the room went quiet. The kind of silence that tells you something heavy just landed. Memphis Bleek tried to pivot the conversation, steer it somewhere lighter, but the moment had already escaped the room. Within hours, the clip was everywhere. Blogs, hip-hop pages, YouTube commentators breaking it down frame by frame. The headline became simple: Jim Jones snaps on Tony Yayo. But this wasn't just random friction. This was old tension resurfacing after years of simmering quietly under the surface. And Yayo, he wasn't about to react emotionally. Instead of jumping on another platform to yell back, he stayed calculated. No immediate diss track, no loud live stream meltdown. He kept it strategic, controlled, like he knew timing matters more than noise. And that calm response, sometimes that speaks even louder than shouting ever could. He didn't need a long speech. One post said everything. Yayo shared that photo of Max B, Jim's longtime rival, like he was reopening a scar the world knows never fully healed. That wasn't random scrolling behavior. That was intentional. For those who don't know the history, Max B and Jim Jones were once aligned. Same movement, same Harlem wave that shaped the mid-2000s sound and swagger. But when money, pride, and ego stepped in, the bond cracked. The fallout got messy. Max ended up behind bars, and his name became one of the most painful chapters tied to Jim's rise. That history carries weight. So when Yayo reposted Max B, even without typing a single caption, it felt like a dagger. It was subtle, but loud. It came off like he was questioning Jim's solidity, hinting that things in his camp weren't always what they seemed. That wasn't simple trolling. That was strategy aimed straight at emotion. The internet ran with it immediately. Fans divided fast. Some said Yayo crossed the line. Others called it a smooth power move. But no matter which side you lean toward, one thing was obvious. This wasn't finished. For Jim, this goes beyond rap verses. It's about reputation. In hip-hop, Loyalty is currency. Being painted as someone who doesn't look out for his own, that accusation hits deep. Jim has spent years saying he built his brand, his team, his wealth from the ground up. So hearing claims that he neglected stack bundles or leaned on someone else's name, to him, that feels like someone dismissing everything he fought to build. And that kind of narrative is not something he's willing to ignore. He felt like he had to respond. That's why every word on that podcast came out with heat behind it. This wasn't acting for views. He was protecting his legacy. And the wild part, if you peel back the ego and emotion, both sides were making points that hit in their own way. Yayo's stance was simple. Loyalty and success should move together. If you're a leader, your people should be eating too. That's how he sees it. Jim's angle was different. He was saying every grown man is responsible for his own plate. You can't sit around waiting for another man to feed you. That's two completely different definitions of loyalty and manhood. And that's what made the clash so gripping. This wasn't just rap rivalry. It turned into a debate about what being real actually means in this era. As the tension spread, fans started digging through the archives, old interviews, old lyrics, old backstage clips. Anything that hinted the friction never fully disappeared. Suddenly, Dipset and G-Unit history started resurfacing all over timelines. It felt like the 2000s again, except now social media was magnifying every word. And of course, the memes rolled in fast. Jim's intense moments became viral sound bites. Yayo's posts got flipped into every possible remix. The culture was entertained, sure, but underneath the jokes, there was real pride and old scars involved. These aren't rookies arguing online. These are veterans with history. And Memphis Bleek, he ended up right in the center of a storm he didn't even start. Bleek started getting tagged non-stop. Fans joking that his podcast just restarted one of hip-hop's oldest rivalries. But to his credit, he stayed calm. He kept his composure and reminded everyone he's been loyal to Jay-Z from day one. He showed respect to both sides, didn't pick teams, but made one thing clear. Nobody's going to clown him or the Rock legacy on his watch. By the end of it all, Jim's message rang loud. He's never been anyone's understudy. We not waiting for nobody to take care of us. We take care of ourselves. That line became the headline everywhere. Blogs repeated it. Clips looped it. That was his mic drop moment. What started with Yayo taking shots at Jay-Z and Bleek turned into something deeper. It peeled back layers of ego, pride, and old wounds that never fully faded. This wasn't just trending drama. It was history resurfacing in real time. Now the fans are locked in, watching every move. Does Yayo throw another slick post? Does Jim answer through music? Or does this cool off before somebody pushes it too far? The tension hasn't faded. It's just hanging in the air. One thing is certain. This whole moment reminded the culture that the old guard still carries fire. These aren't rookies chasing clicks. These are veterans protecting their names. And when legacy gets questioned, the response is never quiet. These aren't just rappers. These are survivors. Veterans from an era where one line could spark chaos and pride, could build or break a legacy overnight. So where do you stand? Team Jim Jones, standing firm on independence and self-made hustle? Or Team Tony Yayo, saying real loyalty means making sure your whole circle shines too? Pick a side. No matter how you see it, you got to admit this has been a wild ride to watch. This is hip-hop at its rawest. Emotional, unfiltered, unpredictable, and the story isn't finished yet. The culture is buzzing, timelines are split, and everybody's waiting on that next move. One post, one track, one interview. That's all it takes to flip the whole narrative again. And if history tells us anything about Jim Jones and Tony Yayo, it's that neither of them stays quiet for long. When pride is involved, something always pops off. If you rock with breakdowns like this, tap in with Dripzine right now. Subscribe, like the video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share this with somebody who lives for hip-hop history. And if you really want to support a small creator grinding every day, hit that hype button and help this channel grow. Appreciate every single one of you. Let's keep this conversation alive.